You can study in the morning, you can study at night. You can study outside by a campfire light. You can study with the rabbi.
Synagogues need to make money. Trust me, synagogues need to make money because I need to get paid. And the cantor and the educator and the office staff and the building and things need to happen. And we need money to make those things happen. But how we get that money has been the source of a tremendous amount of interest in the Jewish communal world for the past couple of years or so. Talking about dues versus no dues, voluntary contributions versus mandatory contributions, free will giving. How do we make sure that we take care of our synagogues, that we raise the funds that we need, but do so in an appropriate way? It seems to me that the specific alternatives to a dues model are exciting and innovative, but may miss the point. The problem is not with a dues model necessarily. The problem is how any model is implemented. The problem is in how synagogues go about raising money. And I think that this week's Parsha can be really instructive as we grapple with this issue of what does it mean to build community and to support that community. So in this week's Parsha, Parshat Ki Tetzei, there's a teaching about making loans. When you make a loan of any sort to a fellow Israelite, to a countryman. In a way, a synagogue is loaning its services. It's giving its services to those who choose to be members. People are entering into a relationship with us, and then we're doing things for them. We're giving them a space to pray. We're giving them services. We're giving them education. We are loaning them these goods, and then we expect or hope that a pledge will come from them to pay for these goods, to pay for these services. Dues, or voluntary giving. But the Torah says to us that when you do make a loan to someone, when you do provide a service to someone, and it's time to collect that pledge, the Torah says you must not enter his house to seize the pledge. You have to remain outside while the person to whom you made the loan brings the pledge out to you. And it goes further, and it says if the person from whom you need to get this money, this pledge, is needy, don't go to sleep on his pledge. Don't hold on to that money overnight, but instead return his money to him. Give the money back to her at sundown so that he or she can sleep, can have clothing, can have their basic needs met, and so that they can bless you. You do these things, the Torah says, and it will be to your merit before God's eyes. So how could we take something that synagogues need, fundraising, dues, voluntary giving, how can we take that and use these teachings from this week's Parsha to make it more ethical, more moral, more community-like? What does it mean to say that we cannot go into people's houses to seize their pledge? How do we do that? Is that metaphorically, how do we do that in our synagogues? Is sending letter after letter after letter, or bill after bill after bill? Is that going into someone's house? Is offering people a bill or a membership fee that is far too high, that is exorbitant? Is that going into their house? Again, metaphorically. And when we have people that we know are needy, do we really live up to what so many of us say when we say, finances are no barrier, anyone can be part of our community? Do we require taxes? Do we have interviews? How can we make our process a necessary process because we need to get paid? How do we make that more ethical? How do we make that more just and more compassionate? How do we live up to the teachings in this week's Parsha about loans and pledges? And also, and this I think is equally important, how do we hold our community members accountable and responsible? Being a part of our community, very often we think about the dues model as a country club, but the difference between a country club and a synagogue is that when you pay dues to a country club, there's not really a relationship there. It's fee for service. For synagogues, our goal is not to be fee for service. It's to build a community of people who feel obliged to that community, who feel part of something, who feel ownership over something. So how can we help our members as we try and be more compassionate and as we try and be more just in the way we implement fundraising and dues and voluntary giving? How can we help our congregants feel a sense of ownership, a sense of pride, a sense of commitment to do their part, whether it's financial, voluntary, or otherwise? We can do better, but we won't be able to do better until we stop focusing on the specific structures and systems and think more about the overarching goal, the values that we're trying to embody. This week's Parsha may help us do just that.
Let's talk some Torah. It's okay, as you will see, that we're bound to disagree. Don't have to see eye to eye to make the Torah come alive. Now that I've had my say, let's not waste the whole day.